So good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much, Emma, for that awesome introduction. So I'm going to share my screen before I begin with any further um, talking. There we go. No, good stuff. Minimize this. There we go. There we go. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to Transferable Skills for Success. Like Emma mentioned, my name is Templeton Sawyer. I am an employment support practitioner. Well, now I have a new role at Teamwork Cooperative, which is information resource specialist at Teamwork Cooperative. So it's a pleasure to be connecting with everyone this morning. And my pronouns are he, him. Like Emma mentioned, I'm a podcaster as well. I have a podcast that's called Tweet the Leader in You. This is a podcast that helps other leaders to grow in their particular skill, career path, and just allowing them to share their story and allowing them to share their passion of their skill, their gift, whether it's in the arts industry, the music industry, and all that good stuff. So I encourage you to take a look. We're on Apple, Spotify, and TempletonSawyer.com. Stay tuned to other awesome things that we're going to be doing in the coming months. And I would say that for now. And let's just get right into the presentation. So I love transferable skills because it helps us to develop, it helps us to connect, and it helps us to blend other skills in unique ways. Like we're playing a musical instrument and bringing other skills to make things connect really well and sound really good in order for us to do some successful tasks, some successful projects, and just be successful in life in general. So I just want to pose this question to you this morning. What comes to your mind when you hear the word transferable? You can text in the chat box. I want to hear your responses this morning. What comes to your mind when you hear the word transferable? Anyone? There you go. Flexible, yes. Interchangeable, shareable, yep. Versatility, I think that's the correct word. Hold on, right. Shareable, for sure, yes. Nice to see you, Darlene. Shout out. Adaptable, yes. Thanks, Robert. Awesome. Everyone's correct. That blends in all that way. Adaptability, connecting, shareable. That's just what transferable skills are. You are connecting and sharing other skills with other persons so that they can grow and develop. Also, you're developing your sometimes persons within your family, sometimes person at your work and all that good stuff. And I always like to share different ways of using transferable skills. And we're going to talk about this today in a more broader context and focusing on skills that we should continue to develop on and allowing our minds to focus on these skills as well. Let's go to the next slide. There we go. So let's speak about cultivating your transferable skills. And I have a little blurb by saying, start by informing yourself about what soft skills are and being aware of your own. What are your soft skills? What type of skills do you have to bring that you are aware of that you can adapt into different places? Think about identifying those skills that you are lacking in and need improvement of. A lot of people sometimes when they think about transferable skills, they think about, oh, it's just about growing, but it's also about reflecting. You are reflecting on each of your skills. For example, I always try to say I love public speaking skills. Public speaking skills then could blend into my communication skills because communication skills can then blend to my listening skills. And each of those skills can allow me to reflect on, okay, do I have good listening skills? Do I have good communication skills in order to use that public speaking skill. So thinking about each of the skills that are transferring to one skill to the next and allowing them to be improved in different areas and remembering to view them not as a weak points, but as opportunities for professional development. Allowing each skill to grow with you and taking each of those skills with you along your success journey. The next step is to seek out ways to build these skills. Look at different ways on how you can use them and put them into good action, into good use, whether it's through volunteering, whether it's through sitting on board of directors, whether it's actually being very entrepreneurial in your different entrepreneurial venture, or whether it's through a research or implementing something new. Need to improve, need to improve on your organizational skills. Research, implement different techniques for time management and task prioritization. Prioritize what type of techniques and skills that you want to learn and research them. Adapt them into where you want to go. Think about what you want on a short term and on a long term for opportunities for you to grow and all that good stuff. Allowing your mind to blend and all that good stuff. So let's just see. I see there's someone's in the chat going, yeah, listening is very important. Really, your listening skills allows you to understand, yes, Darlene, and to find great human connection. And so this brings me back to the next slide. Transferable skills are the abilities you have learned throughout life that are useful in your next level. These skills are relevant across all professions and walk of life and are developed and taken with us as we embark on new paths. Transferable skills allow our minds to think about each way we go in our walk of life. And I can use an example of this train track here. As you think about the straight train track, that straight train track is actually just one skill that you already brought into your life. And those connectors are different skills that you are turning in and bringing other skills to actually make a smooth path in order for that train to go to other destinations to make a good success out of life. Think about the skills that you have. Allow them to be valuable where you go. And I always try to explain to people, I wake up passionate every morning because I know I can empower someone with a skill of public speaking, with a skill of communication, with a skill of just helping them be passionate about what they do in this life. And I always try, and I was explaining to the host this morning, I didn't have breakfast because I tell people I'm caffeine by itself. I don't need coffee. I don't need breakfast in the morning because I know that I'm passionate and I know that I have a lot of different skills that I can help and build with people. And so I encourage you, use your transferable skills, your analytical skills, your problem solving skills. And this is what we're going to be talking about. Using these skills to help you throughout life and helping you to grow. So today we have top 5 transferable skills that we're going to be talking about this morning. And I want to talk about each of these skills in a unique way that you need to know and help you to continue to grow as you move forward in life. Before we go, I want to share this great quote. Hopefully it's going to share, or maybe I didn't insert it in the slide. Maybe. Let's see. There we go. People with highly transferable skills may be specialists in certain areas, but they're also incredible generalists, something businesses that they need in order to grow. I would say that Leah is so true that we need more generalists to generate and to think about where we're going moving forward as we drive into this road of life. Allow those skills to move with you as you continue in this journey. You are specializing in a lot of skills, but are you generalizing and using those skills to move forward? Are you allowing those skills to be adaptable into your workplace, into your entrepreneurial ventures? Sometimes especially when it comes down to the entrepreneurial venture, I'm entrepreneurial, so I can talk about that. Sometimes we think about, oh, we're not using our marketing skills to the best of our ability. We're not using that networking skills to the best of our ability. So thinking about these skills that we can actually blend and to bring for us to move forward, let's do that. Because like I said, we're driving on a road to success and on this road to life. And as we think about each step of our journey, think about what skills we need in each road and each route. As we map the GPS to move forward, let's think about each of the destinations of our skills that we can move forward with. So the first skill I would say is your problem solving skills. And I'm going to read this little blurb. Your problem solving skills help you not only identify that there is a problem, they also help you identify what is causing the problem and find a way to implement a solution. Employers, business people appreciate it when an employee identifies bottlenecks or efficiencies in the process or procedure. However, they are even more appreciative when staff also offer solution to those issues, when business leaders offer those solutions, when it comes down to branding the product for their success or winning that pitch. Problem solving skills are very important. Have you ever had to solve a problem? How did you, what are some of the ways that you had to think about when identifying that problem to solve the solution? Think about it. If you want to put something in the chat, by all means you can. But I want you to reflect on all these things when it comes down to your problem solving skills. Our next slide, analytical reasoning. When we think about our analytical reasoning is in some ways part of problem solving skills. Taking the large problem and breaking it down into smaller problems to identify a solution. Put it another way, employers want staff who can find logistical solution to the company's problems. You want someone who's on your team, who's going to think about those analytical reasons. You want to be that person on the team who's identifying your analytical reasoning. I'm pretty sure everyone who's on this call, you're doing this today. You're bringing those large problems, but sometimes we're not thinking about that. That's actually a skill that we're bringing on. I want you to think about, when was the time that you actually took a larger problem and broke it down into smaller problems? How did you feel? What were some of the tips that help you along the way? I would say for me, when it comes down to breaking a larger problem into smaller solutions, smaller problems, I have to try identify, okay, this is the bigger problem. Then I try to map things out on sticky notes. I'm a sticky notes person. For all the sticky notes fans, holler at me. I'm a sticky notes person because I try to identify each of those problems in a lot of ways that in order for it to help me. I see the chat's going, so I need to go to the chat right now. Any large project gets done one step at a time. Yes. And that's very true. Every large problem gets, you have to do it one step at a time because you have to reflect upon that. And I always try to use reflection to keep, because reflecting is very important. It helps us to grow. It helps us to move forward in this life. Prioritizing needs help to create an action plan. Yep, I totally agree with that as well. You have to prioritize what is that smaller problem that we need to prioritize right now that's also going to help us blend with the other problems that's going on in this larger problem. Thinking about your analytical reasoning skills, use them to affect and allow them to grow with you. Adaptability. I love the word adaptability. Adaptability is a skill. Sometimes, yes, it is a struggle. The struggle is real. Like some of our young people say, the struggle is real when it comes down to adaptability. As you work in a role, you may discover that you need to adjust due to dates, workflow, or even how you approach your job. In some cases, you may need to learn new skills to help you to get in order to help you to get the job done. Yes, sometimes pivots often happen in the business world, whether it's a strategy or a product line. Demonstrating that you can adapt to the change helps you to move forward. You have to have that positive attitude in order to get the work done. And sometimes, like I mentioned, adaptability is hard. It's hard, but you have to practice the flow of changing. You can't stay in the same routine all the days of your life. If you want to move in this road of life, the skill of adaptability needs to happen in order for you to move forward, in order for you to develop more and more skills. Think about it. Think about how you can make a difference through adaptability, adapting that skill of adaptability. When the pain of remaining the same is worse than the pain of change, you will do the same. Wow. Darlene, you just hit it on the nail just now. I have to read that. I have to read that again. When the pain of remaining the same is worse than the pain of change, you will do the same. That's so true. You will definitely do the same when it comes down to that. So you have to change. Allow your mind to change. Yeah, something new. Something new is always good. It helps you to grow. It helps you to groom your mind. It helps you to push. It helps you to move forward and all that good stuff. Let's think about the next skill, teamwork. Teamwork is the best thing to do. What do you think about teamwork? Let's just post that. Let me just post that question. Do you think the skill of teamwork is working in today's society? Yes or no? Do you think teamwork needs to change? How do you define teamwork? I'm going to repeat that question. How do you define teamwork? Do you think teamwork is helping us today? Yep. Caring more. I love this image here with everyone flying in the air and they're connecting each other. Basically, it's a survival technique. And that's what the skill of teamwork means in my definition. But here's a clearer definition. Teamwork means working together as you group to achieve a common goal. But being on the team and part of the team are two separate things. Employers don't want employees who show up but don't help the team accomplish its goals. They want team players, people who make a positive contribution to the group to help it succeed. And that's just what team is all about. Using your team of skills is actually taking initiative. And I always try to use my example of me working at Teamwork Cooperative. I am so happy to work at Teamwork Cooperative because I'm able to take initiative in other projects that my leadership team support me in. They see the dynamic. We don't just call it Teamwork Cooperative. We act on that word teamwork. We work together. We use the skill to blend them together. And so, yeah, let me just see. Teamwork allows everyone to contribute their strengths. Yeah, it allows our strengths, all our strengths to blend. Collaboration. Yes, Andre, teamwork makes the dream work. I totally agree. That's a former, well, not a former, it's a quote unquote always saying that teamwork makes the dream work. But it's very true. It makes everything come into fruition for us to move forward. And so thinking about your teamwork skills, allowing yourself to be a team player, allowing yourself to take initiative when there needs to be initiative taking, being that team player is very important. Communication. Communication is one of the top, 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 top. Over all the other skills, in order for you to do the other skills, you need communication. Communication is very important. It helps you to have a successful journey, a smooth, stressful journey as you continue to move forward. Communicate. And I always try to say that with my friends, with my family, and also with my partner. I always say communication is key. If you're not communicating, I don't know how to do it. So as we continue to move forward, let us think about communication, a transferable skill in any setting. You will communicate in almost every job. Your communication skills are your ability to share ideas and information in a clear and concise manner, leaving no room for misunderstanding. You need the ability to communicate effectively and efficiently. So whomever you are communicating with understands your message. They understand the layers of where you're communicating, where you're moving forward, and how you're going to move forward, and why you are moving forward. Thinking about all those ways in order for us to move forward. Communicate, communicate. That's the top skill of life, is communicating. As I conclude today's session, I leave this with this quote, Sir Edward Appleton. I don't know who said Edward Appleton, but I just love the name. So I just quoted, I was looking for a quote on transferable skill, and this quote says, I rate enthusiasm even above professional skill. You have to be very enthused. You have to be very excited. You have to be very hyped in order for you to gain these skills, in order for you to be moving forward in all the skills that you want to learn. And I believe Sir Edward Appleton will be very happy if we say that today. I think he'll be very glad that I actually said that today. He's very awesome. Oh, like he was a Nobel Prize winning. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, like I said, yeah, I love this. I love his name. So he's really awesome, and it brings great joy. Oh, see, thank you. See, I didn't Google that. I think my research skills need to be more improved. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's really good when it comes down to moving in any professional skills and growing any professional skill. You have to be enthused and you have to have the passion to do it and you have to have the willingness to do it. And so I conclude today by saying thank you so much for allowing me to share in this. I would say it's 30 minutes in this session for us to move forward. I would like questions. I would love to help you to gain and to continue to allow this enthuse to move forward and allowing your minds to continue to flow in all a good way. So let's go straight into the question period. I'm going to allow Emma to go from there.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you so much, Templeton. Appleton and Templeton kind of rhyme, so who
I
knows? In
know,
your
right?
future, there might be a Nobel Prize. Who knows?
Indeed, indeed.
Amazing. All right. Thank you so much for all of that. That was a really engaged chat. I love everyone popping in and having oh, here comes my dog. Okay, we'll just move her out of the way. There we go. So yeah, pop your questions into the chat or into the Q&A box. We have lots of time left. I have kind of a silly question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Yeah.
How do we gain these skills? How do we learn these things, the soft skills you kind of mentioned? So is there a class? Do we Google it? How can we gain these kind of skills?
Like I said previously, research is very important. Researching the skill is very important. I always try to say that yes, you can get mentors and you can have other persons who have been in the same skill, but researching and practicing the skill is very important and seeing if they would help you and all that good stuff. So yeah, yeah, we are keeping Betsy. Oh my goodness, yeah.
How can we identify our own strengths and skills, and then how can we show them off? Let's say in an interview or in a new job setting.
Can you repeat that question? Sorry.
Oh yeah. So let's say I'm trying to figure out what my soft transferable skills are. How can I identify those strengths, and how can I show them off in either an interview or a new job setting?
How can you identify those skills? I always try to say taking assessments it's always good to take an assessment to allow yourself to display the different skills that you didn't know that you had. I think that's very important to do. And how can you display it? Yes, through an interview process, allowing yourself to gain those speaking skills, allowing yourself to gain the leadership skills. I think I answered your question. I don't know if I did in a clear manner. Yes.
Yep. Nope. That's great. That's great. I love it. Tell me a bit more about Teamwork Cooperative and how your team can help with these kinds of things.
Yeah, so Teamwork Cooperative is an organization that helps with persons who are not employed, who are employed, and who wants to continue to grow in their employment journey. And I always try to say that we're not a hiring firm, we are an employment agency that helps Nova Scotians to learn different skills. So we have public speaking workshop, which I facilitate, and we have different workshops that will help you to gain your networking, your branding skills. I think we also have career counseling session as well. And so there's a variety of sessions and workshops that I encourage you to look up that helps us to help you to grow. Our team are very dynamic and we also try to invite different speakers as well to come on to do that. So and we also try to help people from in my role in particular. I try to help more with the technical skills as well, with the technology and software building and all that good stuff. And so website branding and all that social media stuff. And so yeah, I bring all that good juice of skills to allow other persons to learn those type of skills as well. So if you need some skill learning, come to Teamwork Cooperative.
Awesome. Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Love it. If we need some skills, as we know where to go.
Yeah.
We have a question from Robert. He says, I think reflection is relevant to understanding what our transferable skills are, as you said, Templeton, as well. Any suggested practices for reflection for the group?
Yes, yes. Reflecting is very important. Reflecting helps you to identify what's going on and how can you fix this problem, or not a problem, how can you overcome this fear of what's going on as well. So sometimes you may be scared to change, like I said, with adapting, you may be scared to identifying some of the problems. And sometimes you have to reflect on why you're feeling that way and how you can overcome those feelings as well. And I reflect daily. I always try to tell people I've I've been in this mood of reflecting from last year. So I always try to say every time I use the word reflecting, it's in every speech that I actually say now, because it's very important. Skill of reflection, very important.
Absolutely. I'm going to click the record button, everyone. Don't be alarmed. Here we go. Okay. um, I think there's one more question here. Dun, dun, dun. Yes. So, what you mentioned the pandemic a little bit in this past year. What do you think are some of the skills that we gained during the pandemic, and maybe some skills that we also lost or need improvement on?
I would say for sure, skills that I feel that a lot of persons have gained during the pandemic is networking. Reaching out, the skill of networking has been improved. The skill of branding has been improved as well. The skill of technology and social media skills has moved forward in a lot of a lot of the COVID has taught, and I think that that's really amazing that we allow ourselves to use the adaptability skill in order to adapt in learning these skills. It was hard. I know it was very painful for some persons who just wanted to cry and all that good stuff. Because I know there are persons who just want to cry, and that's okay. We had to cry through this in order for us to shake it off, in order for us to move forward and all that good stuff. And like I said, I innovated Tweet the Leader in You through the pandemic, and so that was one of the vision that birthed out last year, October. And so I was really pleased that the pandemic actually brought a lot of creativity. I think our creativity skills were increased as well, in order to help us move forward. So yeah,
That's awesome. I love finding silver linings in these last 18 months, because that's all we have right now is these silver
right.
linings. So that's awesome, Templeton. Thank you.
Yeah.
Could you recommend resources and or groups for improving transferable skills? Many learning platforms focus on hard skills rather than soft skills. So do you have any recommendations for some resources?
Um, well, I'll say listen to Tweet the Leader You podcast. I think that's a good resource. Future works for sure. Yes. Looking at different other employment organizations as well. Um, I would say um I would say listening to different podcasts as well to learn different other skills that you want to learn. I love Simon Sinek. He's really good in some ways. He do identify and break down problems as well. So Simon Sinek is really good to listen to. Um, John Maxwell, he's a good person as well. I feel that if you don't know John Maxwell, Les Brown, I think they are great individual and great leaders who break down leadership in different ways and different skills. So I would recommend listening to other persons like themselves. And yeah, I feel that there are a lot of other ways to do that. For example, I think the library also has different resources on those skills. Halifax Central Library, I always go to the library to get books. So I would say seek out the resource section in leadership. I think they have leadership, self-care development in the library, and I think they do have skill development and all that good stuff. But if you want to learn a particular skill, however, the library is also your one-stop shop for you to read. I always try to say read and then apply your own way of life. Don't apply directly how the book says it, because your life is not a book. Your life is how you create it in order to move forward. So yeah, I would say you get some good books as well. Yeah. Yeah, Josh, the library is really good. Great
Yeah,
community.
I finally got my library card again last year after losing it for a couple years during the pandemic, and I've gotten a lot of books from there over the last year. It's been really great, and I love what you said about taking those skills from the book, but then applying it to your own situation. Because of course, the kind of textbook examples are not going to work for everyone. So I think that's a really
So
great idea. I love that.
definitely, definitely.
What are some skills that you identify with entrepreneurship? Like what are some of those transferable skills that entrepreneurs tend to have or tend to work on and develop?
I would say entrepreneurs tend to work on number one, their public speaking skills, knowing how to talk, and that then blends with their branding skills, knowing how to brand themselves and also brand the product or service or consulting area that they're offering or specialty that they're offering as well. I would say bringing those skills, it helps a lot that they've been learning. So I would say public speaking, branding skills, networking skills for sure. Um, and also organizational skills has to be well taught as well. And then grammatical error skills has to be taught as well, because when you're writing that business plan and all that good stuff, you got to learn how to check different and also analyzing analytical reasoning skills, which I talk about this morning. Analytical reasoning skills helps you to develop. I feel that that's one of the skills that entrepreneurs are learning today. And I encourage you, entrepreneurs, to continue to develop, especially your analytical reasoning skills and also your public speaking skills to take you throughout. And also your branding skills, making sure you change that elevator pitch up every time if it's going to bring your business the increased awareness that it needs.
Awesome. Yes, so true. That's all my questions. If anyone else has any, please feel free to drop them into the chat. But that was a really good segue into my little plug for the Chamber's Small Business Big Growth Summit happening on October 22nd. We're talking about strategy, improving those kinds of skills. We're going to have some strategy experts on site. So go check that out, halifaxchamber.com/events. I'll give everyone a minute here if they want to keep asking questions. I'll start my little wrap up, but I'll keep an eye on the box. Templeton, thank you so much for being your lovely self and sharing your knowledge and expertise with us today. I know we could listen to you talk all day, and luckily you can with his podcast. So go check that out. Tweet the leader in you. It's been a pleasure chatting with you as always. And as we approach phase 5 here in a couple of weeks, we are excited to announce there will be some live events happening, chamber hosted in the fall. Get ready for Small Business Week starting on October 18th. We'll have some fun stuff to announce in the coming weeks. And at Small Business Big Growth Summit, we'll be focusing on building a strategy with experts in a number of fields like HR, finance, export, diversity and inclusion, all that good stuff. And we ask you that you bring your pain points and your challenges so that you can chat through your strategy with the experts. This webinar was recorded today and will be available to all attendees shortly on YouTube. Thank you so much, Templeton. Lots of thank yous in the chat here. We had a great day. We had a great time with everyone, lots of engagement. We appreciate you all coming out. Keep an eye out for our next business support series, and we will see you all next time. Thanks, everyone.